their performance in the second half, because neither covered themselves with glory in the first 40 minutes. Featherstone did by virtue of scoring 2 tries to 1, but there's definite room for improvement, Phil.
I think in the last 10 minutes of that first half, Featherstone looked too aggressive and too strong really for Leigh, particularly in the middle of the field. I think that physically Leigh need to improve their intensity and certainly find some more fight in rugby league sense to have any chance in this second half.
Taylor goes to ground. Featherstone missing a key performer tonight. Yestin Harris out with a torn bicep. It's a speculation that his season might be finished. He's down on the sidelines with Rod now.
Yestin, first let me ask you about your injury. There's some speculation the season might be finished for you. How bad is it?
Oh, hopefully not. No, I've got a scan on Monday, so I'm hoping it's not as bad as what I expected, and hopefully maybe back next week or the week after.
Good. Part of the coaching staff tonight. What's your verdict on the first half?
Oh, we're a little bit loose, aren't we, with the ball. Our skill levels are a little bit off, and our kicker game has been extremely poor in the first half. So if we can get that right, I think we'll start to edge over the top of them in the second half.
Just finally, you're defending a 6-point lead, but up the slope. What's the game plan defending a lead up this considerable slope?
I just think we've got to get our line speed right. Our line speed's been a little bit slow. We've been a little bit lacking energy in that first half. If we can pick up the energy and pick up our ball security, we'll be okay.
Thanks, Jess.
Thanks.
Marcus Question, move! Wait.
Yep.
Wait,
Need
go.
to certainly pep things up in the second half, and that surely applies to Leigh Centurions.
And you could tell that Darryl Powell would have been saying, when you just knock out your sets and be selective with your passes, you don't have to score every time we get the ball. You've got to build that field position.
Here is Stuart Dickens. Tackled just inside his own half. That's the 5th tackle.
Outside,
And the Featherstone Rovers win would just move them up the table one place. They could go up to 4th above the Leigh Centurions if they win this one.
Keep coming back line.
So that's
Wait.
the
Go.
incentive for Darryl Powell's team.
2.
Tackle on the 40.
Hold, go.
Here's Nanin now. Nanin just inside his own half and struggling to get him to ground.
Hold, go.
Plays the ball. It's probably a bit of a shock to the system for Nanin this, because he hasn't played a lot of rugby this year.
No.
Couldn't get a start at Harlequins, not in the first team anyway. Another sloppy pass.
Some nice inside support initially here. Watson onto Armistead, then onto Moore, but he loses possession. Perhaps Leigh's greatest way of breaking through the Featherstone line. Some short passes and close support. Men running with the ball carrier and hoping to help him.
Hardman takes the pass. It's Leigh who have the incentive here this evening. In fact, the victory that's the tantalising bait for them to take them up the table above Featherstone. Here is Andy Kirk. Kirk trying to shrug off the first challenge. He does so. Comes back across the field. 3 tackles gone as Kirk plays the ball. A little knock on there. Referee spotted that.
I think great credit there to Aaron Smith, the number 13 we saw there. He knew that there was an attempted offload, got involved just at the right time. Oh, just the smallest of errors there now from Featherstone. James Houston knocks it on.
An error's an error, isn't it? Both of these sides have got very good kickers in Andy Cairns, Kyle Briggs for Featherstone, and Stuart Donlan, Ian Watson for the Leigh side. Kicking into the corner, both of these teams have got big physical packs. Try and dominate in defence and force the error in the opposition's 20. I'm sure that's what Paul Rowley and Simon Knox to the right of him would be saying. You've got to be more dominant, more consistent with your defensive efforts.
Well, they've been dominant with their defence there as they drive Leigh Wingfield back to Featherstone Rovers. Here is Aaron Smith now. Smith nailed by Hockey and Dickens.
No penalties. Go.
McConnell's pass finds Chris Hill, and Hill onto Armistead. Armistead now wearing 40 out there.
Onside, go.
Watson ships the ball onto Smith. Smith back across the field, then finds Leigh Wingfield, and Wingfield. That's the 5th tackle.
And we saw some threatening kicks from Watson in the first half. What's he got in his locker here?
Not under any great pressure as he puts the kick in, and Hardman, eyes on the ball, under pressure from Donlan, does well there to take the fullback, to take the ball, the fullback.
Well, I think Donlan was in 2 minds. He looked up and thought, can I get here to challenge for the ball? Just pulled up and put the brakes on, allowed Hardman to take it.
So now Leigh piling into the tackle,
Hold. Go.
halting Jamie Field's progress. Field, one of the try scorers in the first half for Featherstone Rovers.
Hands out.
Houston plays the ball. There's a hand in there.
Controlling the flow ball with your hands. Get your hands out.
And the referee penalises Leigh Centurions there.
A lot of
Nanning, I
players,
think.
a lot of players, I think he pointed to Watson, put the hand on the ball to try and slow down the man getting up. Can't play the ball if it's been collapsed and clamped to his body by an opponent and correctly identified by the official.
But what a silly penalty to give away. Leigh had absolutely dominated them first 4 tackles from the Featherstone side. They'd only made 10 metres, and on the 5th tackle they give a penalty away, relieving all the pressure.
Dickens
Tudor. Yes, Anthony.
motoring
There it is.
forward.
Wait.
Not for
Wait.
long though, as
Keep coming
Armitstead
down,
makes the
Jay.
tackle. Here is Jamie Field. Field turning, looking
Frida.
for an
Keep
offload,
coming. Shoot.
but Leigh managed to prevent that. Here goes Jack Leigh.
On a very simple and unadventurous set in possession. It's 4 simple plays.
Kane. Ball back on the inside for Hockey,
Line.
and that's the
Wait,
5th tackle.
wait, Go.
And here is Kane now, and then Kane, the kick over the top. Saxton will chase it, and Saxton just beaten to the ball.
Goal line drop out.
What a brilliant kick though. The distance on it was the one that's really caused problems. Saxton gets a bang on his head for the troubles, but Kane perfects just short of the try line. Mort takes it out to the arms of Saxton, and then momentum takes him over the try line where he's grounded. And now Saxton recovers with some treatment. His teammates should get possession back here from this goal line dropout.
Good work from Ian Mort, the fullback, and he has been impressive for Leigh Centurions when we've seen them this season. Has been ever present for them. And now the break from Field. Field is looking for some support. He's got it from Saxton, and he'll get the try. And Tommy Saxton there to finish off. The goal line dropout, not getting great distance, and Jamie Fields motoring back with the ball and then linking up with Saxton, who gets his 7th try of the season. He was a doubt before the game, but no worries about his fitness there as he finished that one off.
Well, the Leigh players don't like the look, do they, of Jamie Field. Mort's trapped in goal, brilliant kick, and let's give Andy Crane some credit for that. And when Field takes this, first fingertips control off the left hand, taps it up. Well, there is a slip, Mick Nanning slips, and it's a great conversion here, because you get chances in the game that are always scored, but Field's composure knows that Saxton will be out wide on the left, put it in his arms, and let's have 4 more points.
So Jamie Field scored one, now he's made one for that man, Tom Saxton. Just a bit of a heart-stopping moment as he juggled that pass, but he managed to take it in the end. And now Stuart Dickens, once again, spot on with his goal kicking so far, but that one pushed across the face of the posts. But the first points of the second half go to his Featherstone Rovers side, who now lead by 16 points to 6, and not only the hill to climb in the second half, literally on this pitch, but an increasingly tall order as far as the scoreline goes for the Leigh Centurions, who are playing down the hill, of course, in the second half.
Stay behind the kicker.
Saxton, very experienced,
Time you run.
as are
Stay.
several of this Featherstone Rovers side. A Challenge Cup winner, of course, Tom Saxton. As the restart comes from Mort, let's go down to the sidelines.
Get
Rod
nice
Studd.
and low.
Well, if Leigh are going to have to come back into this game, Bill, they're going to have to do it without Dave Olstead. Remember, he went off very early in the piece. Subbed on, coming on was Mick Nanning. Well, Olstead's gone for the game because he's changed out of his game gear, sat on the bench with a calf injury. He's done for the night.
Jack Leigh has picked that ball up. It came loose in the tackle. Referee was just a bit blindsided by that
Wait. Go.
incident as the ball came loose and allowed play to continue. Here is Kane.
Frida. Move. Hold.
Bit of desperation about Leigh Centurions now. This game drifting away from them. Here's Hardman.
Held there for. Movement. Wait. Go.
Jack Leigh. Kyle Briggs now. Briggs for Tim Spears.
Held there 5.
Spears.
Onside.
That's the 5th tackle.
Go.
As he plays the ball. Oof, Briggs a little juggle and then puts the kick in. Oh, and Mort has let that one run. And that'll be another video ref decision, will it? Kirk has got there. Steele was there. Who got the touchdown? I think it was Andy Kirk. But referee wants to check the offside at the kick and the grounding.
Well, in a way, the fact that Briggs juggles the ball before kicking just attracts the lead defenders to him even more. And as the setting sun, we see Kirk goes through, pushes Mort out of the way, I think legally so, and grounds a great try. Back-to-back efforts from Featherstone, and thoroughly deserved for his desire to get first to the ball.
The try is awarded, and back-to-back tries it is for Featherstone Rovers in quick succession. First Saxton on the left, and now on the right Andy Kirk, taking his tally to the season for 3 and finishing off. Nice approach work from the Featherstone Rovers side there, who've just started to look a little bit more purposeful in this second half.
Well, they look like a bunch of men just marching upfield so easily here from the kickoff. And the difficult kick again. It's about causing problems for your opponents when they have to deal with a kick on the last play. Juggles the ball firstly, stabs it between some defenders, and Mort's just hoping it's going to run on and over the dead ball line. It runs into the arms of this man, Kirk. Dickens now attempts to convert.
And he's missed with that one as well, so not his normal immaculate kicking performance from Stuart Dickens, but Featherstone Rovers ahead by 20 points to 6 now.
They're crossing the white line. Every kick, no matter whether it's a low kick, a high kick, it's a contest. You've got to give yourself a chance, and Andy Kirk's urgency there just to get over the try line. And a legal barge on Ian Mort to score that try. But they've been very, very enthusiastic, and probably the turning point in the second half was in the first 4 minutes of it when the league gave a penalty away. Right down on the bottom, they've gone for a short one.
Nanin managing to pat that ball back, and Mort it is who's got it, but Briggs was trying to wrestle it away from him for a moment there. So they get the ball from the short restart. That's worked for them. They do need to get something on the board soon to the Leigh Centurions if they're going to make a battle of this now. Here's Watson for Nanin. Nanin takes on Bell. Bell loses his grip on him. 3 tackles gone as Mick Nanin plays the ball. Watson now. Watson fires a pass. Wingfield plays the ball in front of those posts. McConnell going for it on his own, standing, maybe trying to get an offload away. That's the 5th tackle. Armitstead taking him on, gets the offload away. Donlan, Wingfield, oh, Wingfield. Just for a moment it looked as though it was going to open up for him. But that's the turnover.
Well, it was Leigh's best attempt to keep the ball alive, but not good enough. A one-on-one steal from Stewart. Well, I think that's what he attempted. Steele clasps the ball to his body.
It was in the grip of Steele, that was. Here's Allen.
Wait, go.
Now Dickens.
Surrender. Stand. 3.
Jack Lee's pass for Kane. Here's Hockey now. Hockey runs at Watson. Watson giving up quite a lot in weight and height. Stands his ground there. Here's Jamie Field. He's had a big night. Oh, that was another dubious tackle, surely. Jamie Field lifted and dumped to the ground. Morrison involved with that. The ball with Briggs. Briggs just stepped outside the 40. Got great distance on that kick. And Stanton, grateful to see it sail over his head. He got plenty of distance on that.
Well, Aaron Smith's involved in this tackle, and then he worked so hard from Marker to put pressure on Briggs for the kick. Just took the pressure off Stanton. He didn't have to take the ball. An easier start on the top 20. Can't see any of these Leigh players with the power really to penetrate through the defence. There aren't enough line breakers. Stanton now passes, and Armistead just rolls it forward, but you can see driven back 2 or 3 metres in the tackle. It's not only disheartening for yourself, but your teammates too.
But that just shows, doesn't it? They've got no energy whatsoever. Dave Armstead, normally a big barnstorm running back rower, but this could be a relieving penalty, this.
Fallon penalised Jack Lee as well. Interference at the play of the ball. Fallon all over the top.
Lee's big guys in the middle of the park are as good as anybody's in this division. And if you control the ball and they don't have to defend, they don't have to wrestle down the big guys like Fallon and Stuart Dickens, they'll have a lot more energy in attack and they'll be able to lay that foundation and the platform for the likes of Dave McConnell, who was acting halfback.
Donlan, Watson now. Leigh need a try and a converted try at that to give themselves a chance in this game. Let's put a bit of pressure on this Featherstone Rovers defence because it's been pretty much untroubled in the second half. They're trying to do something about that now, the Centurions. Morrison plays the ball. Wingfield's lost it, picked up by Kirk. Kirk has lost it. Whose knock-on was that? It'll be Featherstone's head and feet at the scrum.
Can't really see how Leigh have knocked on there. Well, I can't anyway. And
Ian, take it back to line, please.
seems to come backwards from Leigh, doesn't it, off Wingfield? Lost the ball backwards. Then there's a knock on here from Kirk.
Leigh have gone for that play on numerous occasions tonight. I think the play that's out there is the guy hitting the guy out the back, because the defenders from Featherstone seem to be coming in. They're going in on the likes of Wingfield, trying to take him down, but there's definitely gaps out to the back of that ruck.
Jamie Field plays the ball. Big effort from Jamie Field tonight, and he was saying one or two older heads in this Featherstone Rovers side, the likes of Stuart Dickens and Jamie Field. They're still going strong out there. Tom Hockey plays the ball, and Hockey then looked at the bench and indicated that he's just beginning to feel the strain a little bit. Now then, that ball's gone backwards. Play on, says the referee. Picked up by Stewart.
Well, Featherstone are clearly on top in this match, driving their opponents back, stronger when they carry the ball, playing the ball faster. They still haven't seen off Leigh. There could be a revival with a try. Breakaway try would easily put some pressure back on the home side with a scoreboard. But one man carries against three defenders is tough for Leigh to break down.
Can't see it coming.
But nobody's pushing up with him. On the three players that they've had there, nobody's pushing up into next door. Look, Watson's looking for people. He's getting his arms free. Big Andy Hobson's on now. See if he can make an impact for the Leigh side.
Another penalty goes Leigh's way. They can't complain about that.
Look, if you get through a gap, a half gap, you're looking to offload the ball. You're looking to promote. Don't stand back trying to organise the next play. Push up with the play and play what's in front of you.
Featherstone leading by 20 points to 6, and McConnell is through, and they have got the try. Nannin it is. Nannin with the try, his first for his new club. And is that what Leigh Centurions needed to get them back on track? That's what the coach is hoping, and those Centurion supporters are hoping as well. When it came, it was again pretty direct.
Well, the penalty, now 8-4, I believe, in Leigh's favour, gives Dave Connell an opportunity to show the craft and guile of a ball player. It was a move that played in the first half, one in which he passed. This time he dummies and goes himself, and Nannin there with the easy support scores. Look, showed it twice. In the first half, they passed the ball to Armistead in 40. This time, he went on his own, and how simply he made it look. Having been outplayed, Dave McConnell has given the Leigh side a massive opportunity here now. Something to play in the remainder of this game. They've had a bad 30 minutes going back into the end of the first half, but Ian Mort can convert this, gives them a glimmer of a chance.
Mort then looks as though he's landed that one. He has. And Featherstone Rovers aren't home and dry. They were ahead at Barrow last week by 12 points to 4, and they lost that winning position. They're hoping that's not going to be the case here. Mick Nannin, as you can see, a massive points tally in his career. That's over 200 tries he scored among that points tally. Umpteen goals as well, and he's off the mark for his latest club, the Leigh Centurions, and a try that has given this game a little bit of life.
And let's credit Mick Nannin as well for that, for the break from Dave McConnell, because he went through as a dummy runner. Ian Bell got attracted to him. He didn't push up. He wasn't aware of what McConnell was going to do. And I knew he was there in support, but the big guy himself, Mick Nannin.
Here's Mike Morrison now. And another penalty. Ian Bell, the culprit there. Jamie Field involved as well. But Bell lying all over the top there, and Featherstone Rovers are in danger of letting this lead slip away with a penalty count stacking up against them. Here is Andy Hobson. The wind definitely in the Centurion sails now. They motor down the hill. Armitstead. Featherstone just need to try and slow things down. Well, they've been trying to do that, and they've been penalised for doing it. Aaron Smith, Watson now. Donlan ships the ball on wide, but clattering tackle. Good work from Steele there. All over Anthony Stewart. And Steele in again. Watson. Armitstead.
Well, they've got excited here now in attack, but it's important to remember your role. What do you have to do here to help the team's cause? Watson chips over for himself.
And it's Fallon who's there, but offside. They were within the 10, says referee Matt Thomason.
You can see they are clearly in front of Watson, the place to your left of your screen. Chris Hill's one of them, I think, with the black head guard.
Taylor as well,
Taylor.
I think. So a relieving penalty for Featherstone Rovers, and that just takes a little bit of the heat off them.
Well, it's kicked a touch, but it didn't quite get there before one of the Leigh players has made contact with the ball. That's the reason why we'll now start with a scrum. Maybe again just a sign of Featherstone going a little sloppy. Leigh with a longer rest period building into this game. I've every right now to feel confident. Here's the kick to touch. Maiden tries to keep it back in the field of play, just bounces over the line.
Did well there, Steve Maiden, or almost did well. Nearly came off for him, and the penalty goes against the Leigh Centurions, to the jubilation of the Featherstone supporters who've seen their side caned in the penalty count in this second half. But, the balance is redressed a little bit with that call from the referee.
You're looking for some of the Leigh players now to have some positive talk to their teammates. Lift, don't you? Show some body language that's going to determine that they've got a chance in the final quarter. It's a good tackle on Spears.
Dickens. 2 tackles gone as he goes to ground. 12 metres out. Kane now. Haven't been up this end of the field for a while, have Featherstone. Here's Ian Bell. Bell, strong character, but they're looking to get him to the sidelines. They might well succeed. He is still going into touch. That's the response you wanted from Leigh Centurions.
Well, they've given themselves a chance now in this match. So we're into the final quarter. They're only 8 points behind, and with determination and defence from Hobson and his teammates Watson and co, Maiden, they're showing every indication that they're going to make Featherstone fight to the end. They'll have to fight to the end.
Defence like that really wins your games. Oof, Nick Nanny, but if Featherstone would have scored again, it might have been 9-9 for the old Leigh side, but they've given him a bit of hope. Andy Hobson doing all he could, the big powerful drive, pushing Ian Bell into touch.
Taylor plays the ball. Here's Armitstead now. He's tackled, cut down well by Kyle Briggs. Watson puts a kick downfield. It's a good kick. Stanton is chasing it for all he's worth, and back to was Kirk to make a good save.
Well, Hardman does well because
Hardman
Stanton has such speed. He's under pressure. Firstly to keep up with Stanton, and then obviously to control the ball. Essential that he got the great kick from Watson. You can see the energy now in the Leigh side. Everybody wants to be involved, whether that's making a tackle, supporting a ball carrier, or taking it up. Dave McConnell now and Watson. 4 tackles gone already.
McLaughlin. Nice work from him. Now Bell. Bell out down the sidelines, but just caught in 2 minds there, Ian Bell. And that's just managing to find a bit of greenery from Andy Kane, who was clattered after he kicked that ball.
Well, close to the sideline. And obviously now, a change of tactic with the kicks. They want to run the clock down. They want to stop Leigh's momentum. He's intended to find the sideline. Sometimes in a game, it's not the best play.
Come on, boys.
At this point in the match, Featherstone favourite.
No daft penalties. Jamie, and then.
into the last quarter. Featherstone ahead by 20 points to 12, but certainly not a convincing lead they hold here. And they haven't got a great record against the Leigh Centurions on their own park of Featherstone. Leigh won here 26-8 last year, and they've won 3 of their last 5 visits to the Chris Moyle Stadium, or Post Office Road as it was.
Can they set in this set now for an attempted 40-20?
He's gone for it, and he's got it. Or has he? The ball's running along. Oh, great work from Hardman, or was it? Watson signals, yeah, that'll do. Hardman trying his best to deal with that, but he just couldn't. He was tiptoeing down the sidelines.
Have you actually watched this game, Phil?
I'll tell you what, Watson's impressed me. His last 2 kicks have been great. This is great, obviously, because they get the 40-20. There's nothing Hardman can do. He has to attempt to keep the ball in. He touches it out of play. Now, Watson's done his part. Can any of his teammates deliver their goods?
Will McNannon be able to do it?
Well, Nannin standing close to the scrum. There he is. But they were alert to that, were the Featherstone Rovers defenders.
Got to run like you mean it, though. Put a bit more effort in than that. You're trying to get through the line.
Oh, and a clumsy, careless pass. The sort of thing that's bedeviled both sides this evening. But here's Nannin, and Nannin storming onto that ball. And he's stretched out, and he's got the try. Gets his second, and Mick Nannin making the impact that Paul Rowley was hoping he would make when he brought him to the club on loan from Harlequins. 2 tries on his debut performance here tonight, and the second of them really making this a very, very squeaky finish for these 2 sides.
Well, I've just been critical of Mick Nannin's run from the scrum. It was turned back on the insides of him, and there was very little energy in him. Now then, we'll go back a few minutes and look at Leigh's building here. Featherstone got sloppy, couldn't find the kick to touch the penalty. Then the defensive effort here, putting Featherstone under pressure with and without the ball. Then Watson shows what skill he's got. Left-footed kicker, favours the left side of the field, jumps out from the acting half-back position and perfects a 40-20. Hardman can't do anything other than that. And then Nannin, close to the line, runs with some conviction, crashes through 2 defenders, carries 2 more over the line, and gives Leigh every opportunity now to go into the last 10 minutes as possible winners.
So Mick Nannin, the try that's narrowed the gap, and Ian Mort can make it even closer with this conversion attempt, but it's a tricky one for him. Nannin might have fancied it himself, but it's in the hands of Ian Mort, or rather at the boot of Ian Mort as he lines it up. He's drifted it into the posts. He's landed it. Mick Nannin would have been proud of that one. Mort withstands the pressure. It's 20 points to 18 here. And those Leigh Centurion supporters sensing that their side could yet snatch this game.
I said in the first half about that guy in your picture, Mick Nannin. He wants an early ball. He wants to see where he's going. He doesn't want the player who's taking the ball to line to set his run for him. He wants to look up. He wants to pick out the guy he's going at. And on that occasion, he was just too big and too strong. And he got over for the try.
There's still 14 minutes to go of this one.
It's a good test now whether Leigh can maintain the concentration. Been error-free for a period of time now. Can they clear the half?
I think the pressure will be on Featherstone now, because they had a big lead. Now obviously Leigh have been chipping away at that. They're leading by 2 points. You've got guys like that man in your picture, Ian Watson, who just keeps turning the big guys around, making them bring the ball back and uphill. You look at Dave McConnell pointing again at Andy Kane. He wants his big guys to run, but they've lost it.
Ian Watson cannot believe that decision. I think it was Hurst who was all over him as he was trying to get to his feet to play the ball there.
Come on then.
It's like Greco-Roman wrestling, isn't it, that?
Time off now. Come on under. Both fans with the
Well,
ball.
that is a bonus for Featherstone Rovers. Ian Watson furious at that decision. But it's Featherstone in possession now then. An opportunity for them just to calm their nerves, to calm their supporters' nerves, to put some more daylight between themselves and the Centurions. Just 2 points in it now.
Go.
Darryl Powell has removed Ian Bell from the game, sent Sam Smeaton on in his place. Bell looked to be flagging a bit. Dickens plays the ball. Andy Kane now. Kane trying to go on his own. 3 tackles gone.
Both feet. Go.
Here's Fallon now. Big hole lad, John Fallon. McLaughlin looks right, goes left. Kane pops the ball up to Saxton, and Saxton will eventually get the ball down for his second of the game. And that is the response that Rovers wanted, the response that Rovers needed, and Saxton a bang on the shoulder there. But having been touch and go to be playing this evening, he's certainly done his coach proud with 2 tries, the second of which has just calmed those Featherstone Rovers nerves a bit.
Well, the biggest challenge for Leigh, having scored their try, was getting out of the half, completing the set, and the referee's decision said no, the ball was lost. It's a brilliant pass here from Kane, across the front of field, into the hands softly of Saxton, who again finishes well, puts himself in the gap, runs into the spaces, not the faces, and close to the line, knows he has to just go low to get the ball down. Very important kick to follow this here now. It's a nice pass, soft into the hands, great direction from Kane, finds the man. Needs his teammate now to find the kick.
Dickens with the conversion attempt. Oh, he's missed it. One of the most reliable goal kickers in the championship, and Stuart Dickens can't believe it. His coach can't either. 24 points to 18 the scoreline. But Tom Saxton, with his 6th try in the last 3 home games, still Stuart Dickens cursing himself.
And he's been critical. That guy has made 28 tackles. He's led from the front. He's running uphill. He's trying to just give his teammates a big lift.
And he's still
criticising him for missing a goal.
I am not criticising.
Give the lad a break.
I would not dare.
It must be pressure. It must be the pressure of the game. Great last 10 minutes now. High kick from Leigh. Can they get it back? Nannin's under it.
Nannin has got it again. Oh, Morrison's lost it. And play on, says the referee. That was a lucky break for Leigh, because that could have gone anywhere. And in the end, it went into the hands, the safe hands, of Ian Mort.
This is going to be an exciting finish. 9.5 minutes left, 1 score in it.
Watson. Morrison takes that, and Morrison for the line. He'll get the try. Mike Morrison. It just opened up for him there, and immediately Leigh come back. And Mike Morrison gets his first try of the season. And the short kick-off eventually came up for Leigh, and they've made full use of it.
Well, we didn't see many tries in the first half. They're coming flooding through thick and fast now. They got the ball back. Great footwork there from a front rower. He knew that Featherstone pressed up hard in defence, and he had to step back against the flow of that defence. He does it so well inside of Hardman, and then through the gap. Hardman can't get him. We see a similar try here to the one. This time it's Watson who delivers the pass to Morrison. Inside of Briggs, I should say. And a great finish for a front rower. Now the pressure on his teammate. They need this conversion.
So Mike Morrison, the former Widnes player, with the try, and Ian Mort to level the scores. And this surely should favour his kicking style round the corner. Mort then towards those Leigh supporters. He's landed it. The score's a level again. 6 all early in the game, 24 all now. The scoreline, and no wonder Stuart Dickens was shaking his head in frustration at that. The missed conversion from him.
That difficult zone, wasn't it? That end of the ground, little to focus on. He couldn't find a target spot.
It is a tall order, though, isn't it? It's unusual to see a front rower kicking goals, being the regular goal kicker.
You're saying they've got more skill, Bill?
Done it all of his career.
No, they've got a lot on their plate already.
What is it about prop forwards in this fixture? We saw Tony Thompson and obviously Stuart Dickens scored in the last fixture when it was played at Leigh. And what good footwork by Mike Morrison. He stepped the standoff there, stepped off his left foot, talking of a 17.5 stone front rower. I'd love to see that, Phil. Prop forwards using the footwork and scoring a 50-metre try.
We've got some of your old highlights footage out, Terry. Leigh this time do get over the halfway line.
That's Dave Armitstead, who's tackled on the halfway line, and Armitstead, for the eagle-eyed among you, is wearing his 3rd different number of this game. He started wearing number 11, he then changed into 40, he's now wearing 36. Is he a one-man lottery number, perhaps? Anyway, it's Featherstone Rovers in possession.
Just look at how quicker the game has gone now into the last 10 minutes. And it's faster than we've seen probably in the previous 70.
We've only had one draw in the Cooperative Championship so far in 2009, and that was on Sky when Batley drew 20 points apiece with Gateshead Thunder. It's 24 all here, coming up to 6 minutes to go. The kick over the top, and Stanton just managing to keep it in the field of play.
Thought that was an excellent kick again by Kane. We've got two great kickers on the field. Stanton, brilliant effort. The cast to keep it in play. If there's a drop goal expert out there, one would suspect it is Ian Watson with his left foot.
Wait, go, no penalties.
Armitstead plays that ball, and Maiden with a good charge.
And now 24 points each. This is where you've got to look at playing the ball as quick as you go. As quick as you can.
It's back to 6, it's back to 6. It was Hockey's hand.
Don't be looking for the big play, Ian Watson.
Here's Aaron Smith. He heads straight up the middle.
Do you think now it's going to go to Ian Watson, who's going to go for that 1 point?
Will he go now? Not yet. It's with Watson. Watson, though, to Taylor. Taylor straight up the middle.
And he's still
getting
staying in
closer.
that middle channel, Bill.
McConnell. McConnell, oh, they offload to Morrison. And there was a knock-on. Who's knock-on? There's a Lee knock-on, and gasps of relief from the Featherstone Rovers supporters.
He's lost the ball forward, Dave McConnell. Spinning in the tackle.
He was trying to get it to
find
Morrison.
Morrison.
Yeah. So a golden opportunity for the one-pointer goes begging for the Lee Centurions, and now it's Featherstone's turn in the last 5 minutes here to try and work their way up the field to get within range. Ian Watson landed a one-pointer the last time Lee were on Sky, that victory over Widnes. That's good work. Great work from Joe McLaughlin. McLaughlin appeals for the penalty. Referee Thomason tells him to get to his feet and play the ball.
Yes, Dave. Yes, Dave. Go.
They've gone on the outside, and that's a strange decision from Kane to go with the kick into that corner.
Well, perhaps a patient one, Billy. You might think there's still over 4 minutes to go. That could be a long time here now. You work your way out of here. This is the tough part. 10 metres from your line's always the hardest carry in rugby league. The defenders come up quicker than ever. They hit you harder than they possibly know how to. And you have to hold on to the ball, stand up and play it.
Fallon certainly did there on Morrison, but that's good work from Hill, and still going Hill. But that's the 5th tackle. The 4th, I beg your pardon. That's the 5th as Stanton tries to get to his feet to play the ball. And Watson drills the kick down the sidelines and will find a touch. And Lee will hope to force the mistake from Featherstone from this scrum.
Oh, I'm not quite sure who this suits best, does it? The ball goes out to play. The rest, catch your breath. Lee then go to form a scrum quickly. In fact, break up as well. The rules now in Australia, the scrum have to stay formed for the clock to stop. Should they break up, they restart the clock.
Stay.
Well, Featherstone have only landed one drop goal this season, and the man who got it was sitting on the sidelines with a muscle injury, Yestin Harris. So who it falls to if they get within range? Well, Andy Kane is the likely candidate. Kyle Briggs maybe. Stuart Dickens probably.
Stuart Dickens, I think, has just gone off, Bill. He's heard what you've been saying about him.
Oh, he's on his way up. Now Lee trying to just restrict the progress of Featherstone.
This part of the game now is all about honesty. Featherstone look to push it out wide, but you've got to turn up for your teammates in defence, in attack. You've got to really hurt when you're bringing the ball off your line. And you've got to do the unselfish things to try and get that result, or try and get that quick play the ball for the drop goal.
McLaughlin did well to get that one away. Featherstone have done well to keep it alive. There could be an opportunity here for Saxton. Saxton's got Hardman! What a way to win a game! Hardman with the try that surely wins this one for Featherstone Rovers. No one-pointers for the Featherstone Rovers side. They went for broke, and it came up trumps for them. They kept the ball alive in the middle of the field. And Saxton, who scored two, creating what surely is the winner in this game for Ian Hardman. And Hardman getting his 8th try of the season. And what a sweet one it was as well. What a way to win a game if that is the winner.
Well, it's not over yet, but you see that Leigh commits so many defenders here to this tackle. 3 men in, it's the late offload that then creates the opportunity. Wonderful pass and good speed from Saxton. Goes around the outside of his man, holds his head and finds on the inside of fullback. Great play from Ian Hardman to push up in support. Even though you're tired, you know that you have to take the opportunity. Morrison thought he'd done everything he could to clamp the ball. Even again, the second effort, but a brilliant pass from Kane. And Saxton's composure under pressure again has shown what class and quality he brings to the Featherstone side. Oh well, one more try. I've no doubt there'll be a short kick-off restart for Leigh. May give them possession back. There'll just be time, I think, for the play on.
Coach down on the sidelines, Darryl Powell, hoping that there's no more dramas to come in this game. He's had quite enough for one evening as Kyle Briggs takes over the goal-kicking duties, with Stuart Dickens having a well-earned rest on the sidelines. And Briggs has landed that one. Get over is a cheer from down below us. And Hardman's try, gold by Kyle Briggs, puts Featherstone 30 points to 24. And you've got to take your hats off to Featherstone Rovers there, Terry.
And that is what I was on about, Bill, about the honesty word. You've got to push up in support. Whenever your teammate gets the ball out, he looks like he can get his hand free. You've got to be there. Don't wait back for that next play. Here's Leigh to go short.
And it's, guess who, underneath it, Hardman. Hardman and Saxton were challenging for it. It was the third time that Leigh had gone for the short kick-off. It maybe wasn't quite short enough. And Mick Nannin couldn't get underneath that ball, and it was Hardman who was there.
And it was a bit of a competition to who was going to get that ball. But if Leigh want to get back, they've only got a couple more tackle-ups. Jamie Field playing it a bit there. They need to try and force this error. It's up your jumper stuff now for Featherstone.
So Featherstone, and they've given the ball away in the last minute of the game. It's been nicked by Taylor. Now then, an opportunity yet for Leigh Centurions to snatch something here. They've got to get the ball out wide, they do, but it's a forward pass from Donlan to Saxton. Donlan looks to the skies. He had to chance his arm.
Went for that big play. See the big clock on how long was left. A couple of tackles. Maybe look for the big guy, Mick Nannin, out wide. But that's it now. That's the ball game. Featherstone have a deserved win. It's been a real tough contest, this.
Leigh putting the shove on the scrum, hoping something will come up for them that way. It won't. They've battled hard in this second half. They got level, and you sensed at that point that the momentum was with the Centurions. But what a response from this Featherstone Rovers side as the hooter sounds. And Featherstone Rovers celebrates only their third home win of the championship this season. And it's a good way to come back after the trauma they suffered up at Barrow on Sunday when they let a 12-4 lead slip to end up on the end of a real hammering. They needed a good response, and they got it, Terry.
And you learn from your mistakes. They would have looked at themselves last week and said it's just not good enough. Darryl Powell would have had them in early morning, as he always does. Said that, look, guys, you've got to turn up for each other. That is not good enough to leak 40 points in 40 minutes of rugby league. If you want to be up there challenging come the end of the year, you must make sure you turn up and you're a bit more better. You're better than that.
So Featherstone Rovers celebrate. Leigh at least had the consolation of a bonus point, which takes them up to 5th place above Whitehaven. But the winners, Featherstone Rovers, and their man of the match, Tom Saxton. A couple of tries for him. He's downstairs with Rod.
Tom, very well done. There's the champagne for the man of the match award. Now, we know you were injured before the game. How close were you to actually missing the match?
Well, it was a bit of a late call really, but I just pulled through, so should be okay, yeah.
What were your emotions like in the second half? Because at 20 points to 6, you looked like you were home and hosed, and yet it became a nail-biter.
Well, we made our work of it towards the back end, but then I think we stuck to his guns and came through, yeah.
What was the chat like before the match? Because the second half at Barrow was obviously far from what you wanted up there, it goes without saying. So what was the chat from Darryl and the boys beforehand?
Just to make sure it didn't happen again, and thankfully, yeah, we've done a good job.
Well done, Tom. Now, £100 to the charity of your choice, as well as the champagne. Where's that going, Tom?
Jamie Rooney Fund.
Okay, nice one. Well done, Tom. Let's bring in the man who's masterminded the victory, Darryl Powell. Just saying to Tom, you know, the second half at Barrow was awful, wasn't it, Darryl? So you've come back here and produced a win. So how have you managed to redress the balance from the Barrow game?
Oh, well, I'm really delighted with the boys because I challenged them a little bit in terms of not the effort we put in, but we lacked intelligence, and I thought we lacked a little bit of toughness as well at Barrow. But I thought tonight, you know, we were outstanding from a toughness point of view, a durability point of view. To come back and play after such a short period of rest, I thought it was an outstanding effort from the boys.
Now, when you bring someone like Iestyn Harris to this club, you know he's going to be the guy directing things, pulling the strings. Now, he's out with an injury, so how much does it please you that the other 17 tonight have proved they can do it without Iestyn Harris?
Yeah, I thought Kyle Briggs stepped up tonight. I mean, Andy Kane didn't have his best game for us, so it was really important that Kyle stepped up, and Jamie Field's been outstanding for us. I thought he did some magnificent stuff tonight. But I thought as a team, you know, the togetherness and the work ethic for each other. And Lee were always going to come back at us, you know, and they've been going real well of late, and they've had a real easy month in terms of the work that they've done. So, yeah, real pleased with the effort tonight. It was great.
Now, we know coaching is an emotionally draining job. What's it like when you're 26 up, 50 minutes gone, looks like you've got in the bag, and suddenly the next thing you know, the game's all square again?
Yeah, well, I'm getting a bit calmer, but it does get a little bit frustrating, and it gets under your skin a bit when things like that happen. But Lee are always going to come back at us. Going down the slope, we've had a tough month, so you know, I was just delighted. I think it's a great effort from everybody concerned.
Well done, Darryl.
Thank you.
That's Darryl Powell. Let's bring in Stuart Donlan from the Leigh Centurions. The opposite question, really, Stuart. You've battled your way back from a big deficit. You've got level again, and yet you've lost it. So that must be a real kick in the teeth.
Yeah, very frustrated with a few things. Our completion rate wasn't out what we expected. We've had quite a bit of a break leading up to this game. We prepared really, really well, and just disappointed in execution, really.
Yeah. Was it the spell just before half-time and just after it when they scored 3 tries that ultimately decided the game?
I wouldn't say so, but obviously that's had a big bearing on the game. Like I say, it's our completion, really. Wasn't happy with it at half-time, and second half, chasing the game, we had to force it a bit, and a few little things didn't come off for us.
Thanks, Stuart.
No probs.
Thank you. Thanks, Stuart. Appreciate it.
So good as Stuart Donlan to speak after what must be a pretty gut-wrenching way to lose a game, to battle your way back and then lose it 30 points to 24. But what a try to lose it to.